Alright everybody, Astrocatical here from the Astrocastrophe with just a little bit more on the ever-changing situation over at Twitter right now in San Francisco between Elon Musk, the employees, the media, and even the sitting administration that seems to be keeping an eye on him and his activities. I would start by saying that, there's been a lot going on with primarily between the employees and Elon Musk with all the firings that he has surmounted to. I think the number of people he's fired over the weekend was like something like 3,700 employees, which is, this is where like I begin my faith in Elon Musk begins to waver a little bit, because I think that there's a lot of pressure on him, and that's part of the reason as to why he's making some of these choices, which seem a little irate, to be perfectly honest. But I think people tend to get that way when you're the richest man on the planet and you've got the entire world criticizing you, and beneath you, you have an entire assembly of people who work under you that absolutely despise you or completely fear you. I think what he is doing is a little Machiavellian. Is he doesn't want his employees to love him. Obviously, he does not want them to love him. I think what he's doing is pretty wise. Do I think it is the most ethical thing to do? No, I don't, but he is the owner of Twitter at the moment, and if he wants to go inside and whip out his dick and piss on the walls, he can whip out his dick and piss on the walls in front of everybody. I mean, he might get charged with indecent exposure, but at least you're doing it in your own house. I mean, come on, who can fucking blame you? I mean, there's something about doing things in, private spaces and public spaces. I mean, at one point or another, that's got to be a private space. I mean, come on. Anyways, as unethical as I think a lot of it is, he is the owner of Twitter, and I mean, it's just insane that he has fired or laid off that many people. It's somewhere, I think the exact number is like 7,500 people that he's removed. Either through firing them or laying them off. I don't know what's involved, like when it comes to like severances. I think there is a severance deal, but he's been fighting a lot with his employees, and everyone is practically aware at this point that he has removed the free lunch program from Twitter headquarters, which I can somewhat agree with, based on the grounds of the economy being in such a piss poor condition. That would be my reasoning for saying why it would be necessary, not just okay, not just applicable, but necessary, almost vital to remove that. Because if you're really spending $400 per meal a day, I think he said somewhere the losses of that surmounted to somewhere like $13 million. Now that's a lot of money to waste on food for people who are not even attending they're inside the fucking building, for God's sake. I mean, what are you going to do with all that? And I certainly don't think Twitter is the type of company that starts handing that food out to homeless people. I don't think they donate it to any shelters. I wouldn't be surprised if they take it out back and throw it into a fucking dumpster. None of that seems like it would shock me, even though it would be like sort of a good thing to do that. But I just don't see it, and I don't see the point of wasting that much money on food that's not even going to be eaten. You're just throwing money into a fire at that point. There's no sense in doing it. And I don't even think half the employees would even want the food anyways. I mean, that's just the way it is in most places. It's just weird sort of food that you'd rather get from a elementary school cafeteria. I don't know. I have not seen the sandwiches at Twitter HQ or the Cobb salad. I have not seen any of it. Don't judge me. I'm just using my imagination here. Anyways, the shenanigans at Twitter have been they've been very endearing, to say the least. People can't seem to take their mind off it. It seems like at times it's a circus, and at other times it's just like a train wreck, and you can't look away from it. But I'm certainly hoping that it's not a train wreck. If there's one thing that gives me faith in the entire situation, if there's one thing, it's the fact that Elon Musk is perseverant. He is very perseverant, and I don't care who you are. If you are perseverant, I think that is a quality most people lack. Perseverance is what builds economies. Perseverance is what builds structure and society. Perseverance is key in this sort of field. It is key in any business. Now, is it the solution? I don't know. I think luck plays a lot into that too. So I'm hoping there's going to be some luck on his side, because it's not only your talent, it's not only your skill, it's not only your resources, it's also luck. But anyways, enough with that. We had over the weekend, Musk had recently fired an engineer. I believe his name was Eric Fraunhofer or something weird like that. Fraunhofer, I cannot say. It sounds some weird German name. But this is someone who apparently called Musk out through Twitter, and he was arguing about the RPCs with Mr. Musk. And apparently they could not agree on the number of batches that were being sent out to basically like connect someone in a foreign country to like the home page to Twitter. And it was becoming like this thread that went on for like 12 pages apparently. And eventually at one point Elon Musk chimed in there and said, okay, he's fired, in reference to this engineer that was arguing with him. So apparently the guy is no longer here, and Elon recently deleted that tweet. So, this is another thing about Elon. I'm not too afraid to criticize this guy. I mean, I don't believe in covering your tracks like that either. Especially when you're in the public spotlight. Everybody has already seen it, and you deleting it, I don't know. I think that just makes you look a little weak, but at the same time, it makes you seem like you're trying to respect that person, but you've already fired them. So either way, the man in question had contacted Forbes magazine, I believe, and they had a telephone conversation with him, and he had this to say: no one trusts anyone within the company anymore. How can you function? Employees don't trust the new management. Management doesn't trust the employees. How do you think you're supposed to get anything done? That's why there's production freezes. You can't merge code. You can't turn things on without permission from VPs. Before Musk, people were more open and felt that they could criticize, and now that's clearly not the case. I take something like that with a bit of salt, a grain of salt. I mean, I can sympathize with that. I've worked plenty of jobs, and I think it's a key aspect for employees in general. Employees to trust one another. There's been places where I worked where I've been intimidated by management. There's been places where maybe I have not trusted a manager. But trust is a big issue in the workforce. That's if you want to work for a company that's going to get along. A lot of places that you work, employees don't trust each other. It's just a facet of reality. I wish we could change it, but there seems to be the idea of riding these things off, and the idea of giving your employees something else to think about, which is what I think Elon Musk is doing. Like I said, what he's doing is very Machiavellian. I don't agree with it. but will it shape up the company? Will it make them trust one another? I don't know. He's kind of ruling that place with an iron fist right now. It's a little bit crazy. I hope to God that he lays off on them just a little bit, because it's going to wrap up into something that I was talking about in one of my other videos, where I said that Elon has these foreign investors, and the FTC is becoming interested in his conductions of business. I'm going to say his business tenures. They're becoming very interested in that, and the Biden administration, for one reason or another, has taken a peculiar interest in him. And one of the things that they are concerned about are the people who invested with him. And as far as I know, there was a Saudi Arabian prince, and Jack Dorsey was one of the investors, from what I gathered. But the Saudi Arabian prince is where things get a little interesting, because he is someone who is associated with a journalist that was assassinated by the crown prince of Saudi Arabia. So this guy who is investing with him was arrested November 4th, 2017 as part of a corruption crackdown in Saudi Arabia. The arrest was ordered by Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. He was a friend of Jamal Khashoggi, I think that's how you say it, a US-based Saudi Arabian journalist and dissident who was assassinated by MBS. So the thing is, the concern is this is the sort of things that they're going to tie the foreign investors to, and how they might try to make a stink out of it. But it's the guy who he's investing with was only arrested in another country by what it sounds like someone who employs assassination methods, and also he hires spies to work within our own country. So there's another person, Ahmad Abadamu, I cannot say this. He is an ex-spy and former employee of Twitter that was found guilty of spying on Saudi dissidents and unlawfully sharing Twitter user information. His charges include wire fraud, international money laundering, conspiracy, and falsification of records in a federal investigation. He was arrested in 2019 and faces 10 years in prison for acting as an agent of a foreign government and 20 years for each of the additional charges. Now, this guy was working for Twitter, this spy, this Saudi Arabian spy. He is not connected to the Saudi Arabian investor who is working with Elon. The spy is connected to the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, though, however. And the Crown Prince is the guy who assassinated this guy's friend. So they're probably going to try to tie all of this together. And, you know, I would like to warn any fans of Elon Musk that it seems very much that if they can use anything to stall him, it's going to be something like this. Even though it sounds like the people investing with Elon really have nothing to do with the sort of activities that the Crown Prince is carrying out, which is assassination attempts, deploying spies to the US. This guy, in all likelihood, seems to be perhaps an enemy of the Crown Prince. I don't know. He's a prince himself, but he was arrested by the same guy who executed his friend and is sending spies over here, and these spies worked within Twitter. So this seems like something that they might try to latch onto in an investigation if Elon continues to succeed at his work in Twitter, which I'm beginning to question because I don't know about that. I don't know if Elon is going to manage that thing, because right here is some of the brands that have already pulled out: General Motors, Pfizer, who cares, Volkswagen, Eli Lilly, I can't even say it, Baaaack. Someone else pronounced some French foreign fashion company. I don't know. It's that middle one right there. Audi, General Mills, Mandela's, the Oreos maker, and T-Mobile. And just seeing how these sorts of things sort of become trends, I'm a little bit concerned that more brands are going to start following this, and they're going to start backing away from having any association with Twitter, because they'll, first say, it's because of, we don't trust you because you are providing a platform for hatred and conspiracy theories. We don't want to associate with you, yada yada. And then, you got the fact that Eli Lilly lost like billions of dollars because of these parody accounts. So I think in the very least, it's a very shaky start for Elon Musk and his capture of Twitter. I definitely think that he's gonna have to make some improvements here, because I think that the forecast is pretty bleak at this point. It's not the greatest. I think he still has plenty of ground to recover himself. I don't know if he's had any major losses himself, but it sounds like he's putting himself in the way of having losses because of just the way that things are going. But we can only do ourselves the favor and try to believe what we know is true, instead of believing a narrative. There's a lot going on right now with this platform, with the FTX, which I'm not even going to get into, and some of the other shenanigans that are going on. There's a lot going on, and I'm going to say, believe what you know to be true. Don't believe what is popular, because it's belief. Belief is what makes people do wonderful things. If you believe in Elon Musk, it's just like when you believe in Santa Claus and you get presents under the tree, even though your parents put them there. You don't know. You just think it was Santa Claus, but who fucking cares? He got presents. I mean, come on. It's that simple. Just believe in the guy and sprinkle some fairy dust over Twitter HQ and everything will be okay. If we're willing to look past the illusion, because he's going to probably do some unethical shit on the way, and we just got to come to terms with that. Anyways, I'm Astrocastical from the Astrocastrophe. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.